This is the finished product of what we're creating in this tutorial, this Flash and ActionScript 3 tutorial. It's an easing marker that follows your buttons. Here we go again with another Flash and ActionScript 3 tutorial suitable for Flash CS3 or Flash CS4. Whichever you have, that'll be fine. The interfaces are slightly different, so you'll have to adapt if you're in CS4, because I'm working in CS3. Okay, so in this lesson we're going to be showing you how to create a menu like the menu I have in Develop PHP. So we have a forum member, Scotty Boy, who was wondering if we can do a tutorial on our top site navigation with the following builder. He's talking about that guy with the hard hat on back there, the little builder guy, and the way he follows the buttons in an animated fashion. And he thinks it's really cool, and he says and even though it's probably easy to create, he'd love to know how to do it. And you are correct, Scotty. It is very easy to create, and it doesn't take much code at all. And we're going to introduce you to the Tween class, and once you get introduced to it, you can do all kind of nifty stuff. And so that's what we're going to be doing. So here we are in Flash. We'll create an ActionScript 3 file, and let's set our stage properties first. The size, let's go 680 for me, because I'm going to have to fit it at Develop PHP into the page there. And we'll just make it about 100 high. And yours can be 950, however wide you need it. And the frame rate, I'm going to change that to 28 so we have a nice animation. Okay. Now the first thing we want to do on layer 1, let's just create another layer. Call that one ActionScript 3.0. Okay, and then this one will be buttons or elements. That'll be good. And maybe your menu would be nested inside of its own movie clip, and this would be its timeline, and that's cool. But I'm just going to be working on the root timeline for this example. And on the elements layer, we're going to create a button. So we'll bring out a rectangle primitive. See, 112 and 21, that's good. And we'll give it a gradient. Should make it look halfway decent. Transform the gradient by rolling that dot around, and then moving the marker there to where it needs to be. And then we go into the color palette. This is all just cosmetic crap. You can fast forward through all this, but I'm going to create these into buttons, or make them into buttons in a second. That looks good. Let's give it a blue outline, a gray outline, that'll be good. Okay, so let's convert that to symbol, button symbol, and call it BTN. Okay, now we have a button. And let's go inside the button symbol. Let's give it an overstate. In the overstate, let's turn that edge blue, and the fill, where it's a little gray, we'll turn that to blue as well. Okay. And let's give it a little downstate. Let's just make it turn white in the fill. Okay. And let's keep the border blue. Alright. Now we have a button symbol. Let's name this one BTN1. Give it an instance name of BTN1. And let's see. Let's just go ahead and create some duplicates now. Press Control C, Control Shift V when you highlight that button. And you can see mine and develop PHP have they're real tight together like that, but in this example I'm going to leave a little bit of space because a lot of menus have some space in them, and I wouldn't want people to think they had to smash their buttons together like mine were. You can do it either way, doesn't matter. These out. Select multiple items by holding shift, and deselect them by holding shift as well. Let's just make 5 buttons. Spread them apart real nice. And I'm going to highlight all of them, go up to modify, align, distribute widths. Now all the widths are distributed evenly through there. Okay, now I'm going to create a, let's see, oh, I don't like when they're on decimal positions. That's fine. Okay, now let's build a marker that goes on top. So I'm going to grab another rectangle. Make sure it's the same width. It's 112. So make that 112. And give it a height about 10. Now let's give that edge a gradient, the stroke, and transform it. There we go. Just make sure it's at the same X position as the button. 18. It's good. Okay, let's drag everything up a little bit. Now let's convert that to a symbol. Movie clip. Call it marker in our library. And we'll also give it an instance name of marker down in the properties inspector, or the properties panel. Now let's double click inside of it, and this can be animated inside this timeline if you wanted, but I'm not. I'm just going to Control C, Control Shift V, paste in place, and then I'm going to bring it down, modify, transform, flip vertically. Now I've got a nice marker for that button, and it's basically what I developed PHP menu, that the little construction worker behind the menu system. It's pretty much the same thing. It's just a marker type thing. You can make any type you want. Okay, so that looks pretty good to me. Let's get it up one more. There we go. Okay, now marker has an instance name. This button has to be BTN2. This one has to be BTN3, because they all have to have different instance names. 4 and BTN5. That's it. That's it for the stage elements. Now we'll get to the few lines of code we need to make this marker follow all of these buttons. So if we publish out right now, or if we render the file by pressing Control Enter, you can see my buttons have their over and click states, but nothing's happening with that marker. It's not following. So we'll code it up. Okay, let's highlight our actions layer and press F9. Open our actions panel. Now the first thing we're going to do is import the transitions needed. fl.transitions.tween is the first one. I'll just highlight that line. Control C, Control V. This one is going to be easing dot all. Put the asterisk to claim all. Bar. Now we're going to set up a couple of bars here, and the first one is going to be for the current marker position. Remember our marker here, the current marker position. We're going to set that up for the default value. So we'll name it cur marker expose. There. Current marker X position. This is going to be a number equals btn 1 dot x. So what we're saying there is the current marker position, the number for the current marker position is equal to the button 1's X position. So here we have btn1, btn2, btn3, btn1 right there. So now the script knows that the default value for the marker position is right on btn1. Alright, so next one is going to be the var for the duration of the tween. So we'll say number equals 1.5. That's a good speed. And now we'll just write the function. There's not many lines of code at all to this. It'll be done in just a second. Here's the function that we're going to create for actually making the movement of the marker going back and forth. And then we'll set up event listeners for all 5 buttons, and that's it. And inside of this function is going to be the tween. Marker follow. That's a good name for it. And this is an event. Mouse event function. In the colon, notorious void, curly brace, go down, close up the other closing curly bracket, and now inside the function we'll type the tween right in. Call it marker tween, and this is tween equals new tween. And the object is the marker, the instance name. The axis will be X, that it will travel along, and the strong for the tween, ease out for the ease method. And now we have to put in the current marker position here. So let's grab that variable. Remember, that has a number value, and this also has a number value, and it's going to be the event.target.x, and I'll explain what that is in just a sec when I type it out. Target.x. And let's put in the duration real quick. Duration, let's claim true and close it up. Okay, now what this means here, you know what the current marker X position is. It's equal to btn.x, btn1.x. Look at btn1, you highlight it, you look at its X position, it's 18. So that means this current marker X pose number equals 18. So there's 18 sitting right there as a default value. Now the event.target.x here is always going to be a different number, because we're going to have it dynamically driven by the event listeners that we're going to set up right now, and then things will kind of all come together for you. Let's see, btn1. Actually, we have to make one more. We have to make the current marker X position dynamic here. So each time a button is rolled over, that marker is going to change position, so the script has to know and record where it went. So that line right there does it. So you make the current marker X position equal the event.target.x. So that means whatever button is being rolled over. So now let's add the rollover event listeners. Dot add event listener, and this is mouse event, and rollover all capitals. underscore over. And now we just put in the function name that we claimed here, marker follow. And now we close up the parenthesis, put a semicolon. Now we can simply make 5 of these, 4 and 5. Rename this btn2, btn3, btn4, btn5, and that's it. That's the whole script to make the marker act the way you need it to for your buttons or your movie clip buttons. So now let's press Control Enter, see what we get. That's beautiful. I can see a lot of people will be using this one. It's easy to code and it works nice and it looks really slick. It'll make your sites look advanced. And like I said, that marker can be animated inside of its timeline. And what's cool about this is wherever the user's mouse goes, the marker is set to have a speed control depending on the how far it is away from its destination. So if I hit this button, you see it moseys over nice and slow. But if I'm over here, zoom, it goes really quick. Alright, that's the end of that one. And for the next one, he wanted to know how we get our logo, a little movie clip to follow our logo when it's rolled over. So we'll be showing you that one next. That one's easy too. So there's the script, and the script will be on the page at Develop PHP where this video is playing, along with this little menu source file. Alright, we'll see you guys next lesson.